John, what's your early thought on Kyle in terms of coming back?
Okposo, still some soreness, but it's good to see him out there and skating. And today was the first practice back for him. So we'll see where he's at day by day, but he's close. Not tomorrow,
though. And Greenway and Olofsson?
Both battling illness still. And because of being illness day to day, obviously Vic's missed some time here. Greenway played the other night, so and was in here this morning a little bit. So, yeah, they're both day to day sick, and we're trying to make sure spreads as little as necessary.
I mean, he's played 2 games with us in a lot of minutes. I mean, he's really been gutting it out, hasn't he?
He has, and he's when you play and you're already a little bit under the weather, you deplete your system pretty good. So we're trying to give him the rest to get back up. Tucker battled it. A couple other guys have as well, and so yes, a game obviously takes a lot out of you, and to be able to have some rest time in between is important when you're dealing with what he's dealing with.
You're looking to get on a roll here, and just how big an opportunity is this to have 6 in a row at home at this point, given what you need to do?
Well, it's still anytime we get too far ahead of ourselves. I think anybody in sports, you're in trouble. So it's the next game, and we know it's a very, very good hockey team, a stingy hockey team, and a good hockey team. And we look any past that, we're in trouble. So it'd be nice to not travel. That's a nice component, and not have that that element. But it's still the next game is everything.
You talk about how they're stingy. I mean, they have probably the hottest goalie in the league. They've been hot for like 10 games. They won the Winter Classic. Just how impressive, from what you've seen, has Seattle been in the last 3 weeks?
They're competitive. They're a team that because of their situation, they don't have maybe the number 1 overall pick and the high profile talent, but they have lots of talent, lots of very talented, competitive people over there, in depth, and probably more depth than any other team in regard to that. I mean, they can roll 4 lines that are very deep, very capable of playing, grind, compete, and certainly skill as well. So, very balanced team and a very deep team.
You mentioned more than once there are times where you got to just find a way to win a hockey game. Maybe you don't have your legs or what it might be that night. Pittsburgh had a lot of zone time, but as you've got a chance to look back at it, is the reason you won that game because your compete level stayed high, even though maybe you didn't have your legs or whatever it might have been?
Yeah, we were, well, first of all, Upi played very well, obviously, but you didn't see a lot of second chances. You didn't see a lot of chances because of a defensive zone mistake. We had, we gave up some outside ice, but we fought and hard for inside ice around our net, with a few exceptions, and they were extremely willing to tactically throw a puck to the net. But I thought our defensemen boxed out very well, second chances, and helped clear things for Upi, where he had volume, but we were contending everything on the inside. The outside ice, we gave up some that we could have probably taken, closed a little quicker. We missed some kill opportunities, really with some consistency. But the good thing is we didn't get lured out of position, even though they had time. And I think that's what you're referring to. So, in the end, it was, if you're going to err on one side, I'd rather err that we have numbers underneath than in net front. That's where we were. Would have loved to see us be a little bit more aggressive on some kill opportunities that we went over this morning, where we just didn't get there quick enough or didn't do the right things tactically. But we compensated very well on the inside ice.
What was your takeaway on some of the breakaways and the opportunities? I mean, your goaltending has been unbelievable, but you really can't rely on .970 goaltending a lot of games. I mean, there were a lot of chances that popped up, and Lucan and cleaned him up. Where do you think some things went haywire?
Yeah, the breakaways, you know, when a forward gets behind a D and he gets behind 2D. So sometimes it happens when 1D is up ice and the second D doesn't recognize it or a forward doesn't cover back for him. But you know, you have to lose 2D to give up a breakaway. So it's misreads. Obviously, that's not a system breakdown. It's a misread. It's a miscalculation. You know, we actually rimmed one. We did it to Crosby, which we had full possession. It was just a turnover. Like I said, it's hard to defend a turnover. What was the other breakaway? Gensel had a breakaway. I'm not sure. Can't remember exactly how that one happened now. Watched too many clips, but and then Crosby had a breakaway early in the game where our D turned backwards, could have just skated right with him, and when he flipped backwards, it was the offset, and Crosby's behind him. So just a technical error, glitch, and again, it usually happens when it's usually an error by one of the 2D because you got a guy behind both of them, and so I don't know what to tell you. It's a read, bad one.
Is breakaways one of the things that Lucan has gotten better at? You talk about getting better, and is that one of the areas he's improved his game?
Well, he certainly looks sharp and confident and comfortable. I think for goalies, you know, when you're feeling it, you make those things look simple and easy, and he did the other night. I mean, so I don't know if it's you could be the greatest goalie in the world, but if you're not feeling it on a certain night and you're off rhythm, you don't want to see a breakaway, you know. So I think it's more of a rhythm thing than anything else. And Opie obviously did the other night, was feeling very good about his game, and you could see that he was very comfortable in all those situations.
You mentioned guys can't get too far ahead of yourselves. How do you feel like guys in the room have handled just blocking out the standings and various things like that as the season's gone along?
Not good for a long time, and I think we're getting better with it. You know, and real simple. You know, we're in the moment more. You know, and that's where you need to be. You can't. You know, it's not for us to be forecasting and projecting and whatever. It's for us to be performing, and sometimes your attention is diverted to that end. And you know, we've had a better focus now, and standings are irrelevant. What's the date today? So it's irrelevant today. What's relevant is your next game because that's the only thing you have control over. And there's thousands of cliches that could describe that, but get the moment, and the moment's tomorrow's game. And I think our guys have done a better job of that. It's a lot nicer being healthy. Makes it a lot easier, that's for certain.
How do you think that happened? Was there anything that, like...
How do you think what happened?
Guys got more in the moment.
It coincided with having a healthy lineup. I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence. You're without Jack Quinn for 30-some games, and you guys see Jack Quinn. You see what he does for that line. You try to put somebody else on that line instead of Jack Quinn, and it's not going to be the same. With Cousins and Peterka, it's obvious and clear as day. And so, you know, when you have that back in the lineup and you had him for 30-some games, it's pretty simple. And, you know, the Tuck-Thompson-Skinner line, the three of them had played together. They played 3 or 4 games in the whole month of December and half of November together. That's a huge difference. So, yeah, you're never in sync. Never, you don't have that continuity. And the difference now is you have that, and it's much more comfortable circumstance, you know, and it's the way the league is, you know. Teams lose top players, just look at it. New Jersey was without Jack Hughes last night, and it's a little different. Everything gets messed up. So it's nice when you don't have to deal with that mess. It's a big bonus.
How do you feel about the changes on defense? It seemed like the minutes were a little bit more balanced, maybe,
Yeah.
and that seemed to benefit some guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not satisfied with anything. So, I mean, if you're asking on any of that, there were some things I liked and some things I didn't. These guys just mentioned the breakaways we gave up. Is that a miscommunication between the two partners? Might be. Misread, certainly a misread. So there's some things to like, but you know, I think our defensive group can be better. They're capable of being better. So
Has Owen been better with like Owen, I'm looking, he's been under 20 minutes for 3
Yeah.
straight games, playing with Eric.
Some good, yeah. I mean, some good. All these guys, it's some good, and we want more consistency and we want a higher level. So we're continually pushing to that. So if you ask me, are they better? I'm not so concerned with I don't even look at it as better. They have to be better. Be better. I want better tomorrow than I saw last game. Just want it. That's it. So I'm not satisfied with what Owen did or anybody else did the other night. Great, we got to win. Love it, but we got to get better.
You guys have had some terrific home games where just start to finish really, but as a whole, you guys haven't been a good home team. Do you have any explanation, like why you guys just haven't found a rhythm at home?
You could have explanations again. Historically, the last 2 seasons, no. But we've talked about this a lot. Do you guys put more pressure on themselves? Do they play tighter at home? There's teams, so. I mean, anything you say is going to be, can be. Well, that's an excuse. It's like I don't even like talking about it. It's get in the moment, which we haven't been. Obviously, get more competitive. When we struggle at home, we don't shoot. We're not competitive enough. We're not willing to work enough. So, if you can see those patterns. So that's the pattern. If we want to go out and compete, we're pretty freaking good. When we have trouble at home, we probably didn't compete as hard, and it's clear as day. We're not attacking the net. Puck on entry. Is there a guy driving? Is there a shot mentality? When we're not good at home, we're passive. We overstick handle. We try to make a play. We're not direct. We're not hard. We're not shooting pucks. We're not willing to track pucks. So no different than what I've said over and over on that. So that's it. I mean, when we're good at home, that's what we're doing. When we're not good at home, we're not shooting a puck. We're not going to retrieve a puck with enough consistency. Maybe a couple guys are. Jurgensen's is a big leader in that regard. When you see him out here, he does it every single time. It's his habit. We don't have enough guys that's their habit. Put a puck in, go after it. The winning goal the other night was Jurgensen's. Chip it in, go to the front of the net. It's in the net. That's how you score more goals. And if you're not doing those things, you'll score fewer goals. You might score a pretty one, but it's one every 60 minutes. So it's just those. To me, that's it. If you're asking psychologically why we're not good at home, yeah, there's a psychological component, but we're not getting to that aggressive play.